Your onboarding and your first introduction into a community space is really where the impression is made, and you have the opportunity to share who you are and what you're about and what a member can receive from the community, as well as what they can expect to give and commit to the community. So it's definitely the start of a relationship. And as humans, we judge books by the cover. We let strong first impressions lead us. So that's why that first window is really critical because it helps lock in what the member is perceiving about the community, and it shapes how you move forward in that dynamic in that relationship. Let's dive into it here. Brendan, do you want to chat a little bit quickly about instant sign up?
Yeah, for sure. Really, the key point here is getting someone to sign up is really the beginning portion of this. So, too often the experience stops at you're in, and that's it. That's your email. Now what? I don't know what to do. I don't know what action to take. I don't know if I'm supposed to post something. I don't know if I'm supposed to fill out a form, what I need to do. So they're really just left sitting there wondering and waiting on what's next. What am I supposed to do? And there's really no obvious first step. So a lot of times you'll get those new members that come in and they stall, they disengage, and they might not ever come back after that. So your future cross-sell and renewal communications are always, I won't say always, but most often going to be ignored if you don't establish that member motivation right off the bat. So, again, that goal is just to create that instant momentum and really define one clear first action that you want every new member to take. Use that welcome email to help guide them there and then measure whether or not they complete that action, not just whether they signed up. You'll really use this as a clear path for guided participation with your members throughout their entire member journey. An example could be something as simple as, "Welcome, you're in. Now that you're ready to get started, feel free to complete your profile and then introduce yourself in a discussion thread." Just like that, you've provided a guided participation model and not just a welcome email to check off your to-do list. So with that, I'll hand it over to Georgina for the next model here.
Yeah, totally. So we had, I think this was our second most popular or our most frequent in the poll this time. So folks sign up and then they have to wait for admin approval before they receive their access. This is a tricky one because, of course, if you have to manually curate and make sure that the approval is appropriate, or if you have multiple systems talking to one another to make that approval process happen automatically. Sometimes it can get sticky and the systems knitted together can create some time in between that. So that lag is really challenging for members because they're excited to get in there. They have a strong intent signal and waiting kills the intent because motivation has a half-life. So maybe they have an urgent question and that's why they want to get in. They have to wait a couple hours. They're going to go answer that question somewhere else rather than waiting. Or they're just excited. You've got them hyped up. They saw promotional material or they read the website and they're like, okay, you've convinced me. I'm in. Let me see this thing. They get all excited about it and then they have to wait. So it kind of puts the motivation on ice a little bit. The other thing that sometimes happens is, I don't know if this has ever been the case with you, is you sign up and you're like, okay, I'm waiting for the email. Where's the email? Where's the email? And you don't know that it might take 24 hours or 48 hours or even 3 hours, right? And so you're like, did it go through? Did it go through? You submit your email 10 more times. So that's kind of some of the failure points that can cause confusion. Some of the recommendations that we have on how you can navigate that is really set expectations before and during the wait. So if you expect to have on average a 12-hour wait or a 24-hour wait before the approval comes, make sure you say that on the sign up page. Send an automatic email that says, hey, your membership status is pending. We will get to you right away, right? The other thing I love to do in that like pending membership email or message is to offer a value item before approval happens. So just a little something, kind of like a restaurant will sometimes like bring you a little snack while you're waiting for your table, right? Like, can you send them a really nice white paper that's attached to that? to that email or a journal or just a sneak peek that you don't offer to the public and you are willing to offer just through this avenue while they're waiting, right? And then, of course, make approval a real welcome. Make it really not just like, okay, cool, you're in, click here to activate, but something that's really establishing the relationship. I have a story here that I think Brendan is coming off mute to insist that I tell you. This is a kooky story. Okay, so many years ago, I was dating. I was looking for someone to spend my life with, and I was using the dating apps, and it was really horrible. Really didn't like it. Really wasn't going very well, and I found a online community dating app. It was positioned as being very exclusive and very curated. So it was more of a matchmaker style service. So I signed up for it and they were like, "We think you're the perfect community member here. I think this is going to be great." I'm like, "Okay, awesome." So I sign up for it. I have lots of hopefulness. I'm really excited. Um, and then I had to wait for approval. They're like, "We're on the waiting list. We'll let you know when you get in." The first couple of weeks that I was on this waiting list. I was really excited. I was updating my email to like see if I had finally gotten approval to get into this community. Nothing, nothing. And eventually my motivation died. I moved on. I was like, okay, that was so strange. Nothing happened. This is the funny part. Years later, years and years and years later, I receive an email from them that says, "Congratulations, you're in. You're going to be an amazing community member. We can't wait for you to like find the love of your life in this dating community." And I'm reading the email on my phone. I am wearing my wedding ring from my amazing husband. I am holding my newborn child in my arms. I was like, "You guys, you really missed the boat on the admin approval before access, because it had been so long that they had kept me in the waiting room that I had quite literally married and bought a house and had a beautiful child in that amount of time." So don't be those people, and make sure that you're really keeping your approval under 48 hours. If your approval timeline is more than 48 hours, does it really have to be? What can you do to change that timeline? How can you get that down closer to 24 or 12 at the most? But anyway, okay, now let's jump into our most popular model. Brendan, you want to talk a little bit about the paid membership access?
Absolutely. So we'll talk a little bit now about the just the general paid membership and access onboarding models. Once someone pays, the experience kind of can feel like an e-receipt and just getting a login link and here you go, have fun, do your thing. And it really comes back to that guided participation model. It's really, really important that you're not just giving members access and then expecting them to figure out where the value is. These people have paid money. They've made a financial commitment to be a part of your organization. So it's really important that you meet their expectations, which are typically high when someone's paying for something. Those first moments after payment should really feel special and really reinforce that they've made a smart decision by joining your organization. Uh, Guiding them towards one or two meaningful actions right off the bat is something that can really help them experience the community, experience some of the resources you have. Maybe they'll make a connection right away. Might not be the love of their life, like Georgina was talking about, but it might be somebody that's going to help advance in their career. Um, a easy example of something you can do is just instead of only sending a payment confirmation and a welcome message, uh, do something that maybe prompts them to download something like, hey, we saw you signed up because you are interested in X. So we have this great resource that will really, really resonate with you. That makes it feel not only more personalized, but really just like they're getting help right off the bat, and really turns that access into an action. A lot of times that'll really give you sort of an early signal that you need to understand whether or not that member is actually activating. And that can be a strong indicator if that person is eventually going to renew or if they are going to spend more with you, do more with you. Maybe they'll become an internal champion for you in one way, shape, or form. Uh, that those first 30, 60 days is really, really important to understand what that member is going to provide for you and what you're going to provide for the member.